Well, hello again, everyone. Well, it's just kind of a cloudy day out, and whole man winter is around the corner, but it is hunting season. That's a good thing. I love hunting. So in this adventure, whatever, I thought, well, I want to show you how I set up my 300 TRX Honda quad at an affordable cost that you can take out whatever. It doesn't cost you a whole lot of money to buy all the accessories and everything. So today I want to show you the accessories I made at an affordable cost to set up my 300 TRX 4-tracks. One brief moment before we get started on the video, if you're interested in any of the gear or anything I'm using in my videos, there'll be a link in the description below, so check it out. I know you won't be disappointed. So let's get on with the video and not waste any time. Now for starters, what I didn't go out and buy a, $300 to $500 quad box. Some people buy them, they got this seat because they're taking a passenger and stuff, but usually me, I don't take any passengers. I'm usually just by myself out here in the trails getting firewood or doing a little hunting or just even on a joyride. But the thing I installed here is I went to Canadian Tire and I picked up this quad box, and what it is, it's just a Mastercraft box just to put all my accessories and everything in. So, and let's say it's just the right size for what I'm actually using it for. So you can see it's just a basic, Mastercraft toolbox. It's got your little storage compartments for on top, which is kind of handy. I just got a few little things there, not a whole lot in there. Here I got, other setups for just things I need. You can put nails in there or screws, whatever you want, or just things that you think you're going to need out in the bush. So it's really kind of nice to have a setup like that. And then inside, it's easy to open it. You can open it up. And inside you get a top tray, which I carry. I got my hunting saw and my sharpeners and everything I need for my chainsaw here. There's the sharpeners here. I even got a fishing fillet or fish knife for filleting fish or cleaning fish up, which I found magnet fishing, actually, by the way. This tray comes out, and inside I got a little fish tackle box, which the fish hooks again, and I got magnet fishing, but I carry an extra rope, and there's an extra pair of pants or whatever, in case I need it, an extra pair of gloves, some water, and everything like that. But it's a handy little box. You can get lots of items, a lot of things that you think you need for on your trip. But it's a great little box. It's just the right size for, like I say, for what I use it for. It's just a nice little setup. Now also what I did too is, actually what this little box here is an actual cat litter box. So I painted it up, put my logo on it and everything, and it's just held down with bungee cords, where the quad box actually is bolted down. But this is, if I want to take this off for any reason, if I want to put a gas can on here or something different, I can. But what's really handy is it easily opens up, and you can put your trash in there, your empty pop cans or whatever it is. Or if you're out partridge hunting, you can actually throw your partridges in here without losing them, but put them in here out of the way. Or I could make it in a beverage cooler too if you really wanted to. But I thought it'd be a handy little box. I want to make a second one too and then have it on the other side. So if I'm not carrying the chainsaw, well then I can carry two of these boxes. Now here obviously I mentioned chainsaw. Yes, I carry my chainsaw right here at the back. The chain in the front bar, it'll fit right behind the toolbox. So I just got like a small bungee cord holding the cover on so it doesn't damage my chain in any way. And the chainsaw, I got one little bungee cord that technically just holds it on like that. Just a simple little bungee cord. And it doesn't fall off. I don't really like how it sticks out a little bit further than the tire. That's the only downfall I have on it, but really you just gotta be careful when you're ATVing out in the bush, whatever. There should be no reason to hit that. Your trail wouldn't be that narrow. So this ain't too bad. I'm quite happy with it. Now another thing I did on the quad box, I didn't go and spend a bunch of money on you know, getting gun racks or whatever. I know you buy a gun rack for an ATV, you're looking anywhere from $50 to $80. You know, if you want to put 2 guns on or 1. Myself, I only need 1 gun. So what I did is I went to the Canadian Tire and I went to the hardware department, and you can get these hooks for, you know, just you're gonna hang shovels or anything in a garage, and it's got a rubber coating so it won't scratch your gun. And what I did is I mounted it to my quad box, so that way the gun's behind me, not in front of me, it's out of the way. But also pack is a 357 Magnum Mare's Leg, or I take my 22 Mare's Leg, and I got a holster for it, which you've seen in the previous videos. So anyways, that's what I pack on my quad. It's small, it's compact. I really like it for that. If I want the gun out, I can easily pull the gun out. If I'm gonna do, I don't see an animal or something I wanna shoot at. And if I wanna put the gun back in, it just slides back in its holster. And then it's got a clip, so it doesn't slide out. It just snaps back on. And then if I wanna take it off, all I gotta do is I just got 1 bungee cord wrapped around it once. So if I wanna take it off and decide, like I did in my previous video, I was carrying the gun on my side. I can take it off, wrap it on my gun belt, put it on my side, and away I go with it. So kind of easy setup to do or whatever for that. And it's big enough or the right size where I can actually take my scope, you know, 308, and set it on the quad, and it'll sit there perfectly and not even fall off, not rattle, not bang or nothing, but it will sit there perfectly. Also I have on my quad is right here is I got actually a little seat pad. So I carry it in case, let's say if I didn't have the quad box on there, whatever, nice when you did have a passenger not right on the back carrier. And technically that's what I bought it for a long time ago. But now I stuff it underneath the quad box, and I kind of use it whatever, like say if I'm in my tree stand, or if I'm in a hunting blind, or I'm just sitting on a stump, sitting by a campfire, I can actually set this down, and I got a nice padded seat to sit on. Now another item I got, it was just actually off of Timu. What it is, it's just my cell phone holder, and it's waterproof. I can open it up. This was very affordable too, by the way. My cell phone goes here, so it doesn't get damaged, it doesn't get wet. And you got little pockets in here if you want to put your license and registration in, or, you know, just maps, I don't know, whatever else that you think needs to be going in there. And it zips up like that, and very handy. And also you can use your touch screen and use your phone while you're driving. If somebody sends you a text message or whatever, you can answer your text message without even taking it out of the case. Now on the quad, another thing I did, actually, I was at a local flea market. Actually, I shouldn't even say flea market. It was actually just a thrift store. And I picked up a little foam koozie for like 50 cents. And what I did is I took some Gorilla 3M tape and I glued it on here, because this piece here from my winch, this came with the quad, right? So it's a neat little mount. Actually, I kind of like my winch down there like that. It's out of my way, nothing's gonna hit it. So I do like it for that. But so I stuck this koozie in there, and I can put my cold beverage or anything in it while I'm driving, and so I'm not holding on to it. It also, in the winter time, if the sun's shining, my theory, maybe I'm wrong, but it'll prevent your drink from getting frozen in the winter time. So with the black, the sun's gonna hit that. It might insulate your drink or whatever it is you're having, so hopefully it doesn't freeze it as fast. But in the summertime, well, it's gonna keep your beverage nice and cool too. Now, another thing I did was, I had when I got the DJI Adventure Pack combo, I had this setup wherever I can mount this on anything or whatever, and I did actually have it on a tripod. And I was quite amazed with DJI's products, so I tore that off the tripod, and the 3M tape stayed stuck to this. So I kind of stuck it onto some plastic, and then it was, I don't know, a few months later, and it was stuck to that tripod. Well, it was stuck to that for over a year. So I was quite amazed, and it was still sticky. So I cleaned it up here on my quad or whatever, and I stuck it to my quad so it doesn't fall off. I was quite amazed that 3M tape's pretty good stuff from DJI. But I put my Action 3 camera on the front of my quad so I can film whatever I'm doing when I'm driving. So another neat little accessory that I put on. Just gotta use your imagination. Now, as I was showing you too, is when I opened up my quad box, I said I had a little fishing kit in there, which all the hooks I got actually from Magnet Fishing. And if you're not sure what magnet fishing is, or maybe some of you know what it is and you're quite interested in magnet fishing, you'll have to check out my other channel, Canadian Magnet Fishing. Now, I got all kinds of adventures on that channel, and see what some of the crazy things that we've actually pulled out of there, out of these lakes and ponds, and rivers and everything else. So if you're interested in the magnet fishing, check that channel out. I know you're not going to be disappointed in that. So now here again, what I did is actually about the magnet fishing again. I found a fishing rod and reel magnet fishing, and so I cleaned it right up, re-greased everything, and it's only like a 5-foot rod, it's a small rod. And I mounted it here on the front of the ATV. As you can see here, it's just held with a small little bungee cord, sits across the back or the front carrier, and it just sits there normally, doesn't rattle, doesn't fall off. And then on the other side, what I did is I got another small bungee cord that holds the rod in place, just so it doesn't move around and, you know, fall off or anything like that. So I got my fish kit, I got my gun, I got my fishing tackle. So I got everything I need for if I'm gonna do any hunting and fishing. So now what I did here now, like I thought one time I was actually cutting a tree down and my saw got pinched and like, oh no, now what I'm gonna do? Lucky enough the wind was in my favor and I was pushing on the tree and I got my saw out. I thought, well, that was kind of dumb of me. I got how many axes and I don't bring an axe. So what I did, I had an older axe that was actually used to be my dad's, and he had a leather carrying case for your axe head. So I thought, well, I'm gonna just take a bungee cord, whatever, and I strapped it on the front of my quad, and it doesn't hit the plastic or nothing like that. It doesn't fall off, it doesn't rattle, but it's out of the way. But when I need an axe, I have an axe. Now, as you can see too, is I got a front quad box. Now this box actually used to be a DeWalt box for putting your power tools in. And what I did is where the piece of plastic were inside to hold your tools or your power tools in place, well, I cut that all out of there and made myself a quad box, and I got some U-bolts and bolted it to the front carrier of the quad. Another thing what I did too on my boxes is I have a cricket maker, so I put my logo all over the place on this thing, but advertises my channel. Anyways, I'm going to open up my toolbox for this, and it opens up nicely. I'm just going to come around here to the other side here. And what I have in here, now I got extra ammunition, my hunting tags, everything that's in this little pouch. I even got extra lighters, flint, anything like that, just in case something happens. Also, I have is a pair of riding glasses. I got a little case, which I got from a thrift store for 50 cents, but it stays on the quad all the time. I don't take it out of there, nothing, it stays there. Another thing where I found magnet fishing, I got another little field knife. So I thought, well, now I got two knives. I got a fish filling knife and I got a field knife. You never know when these come in handy. And it actually just sits in there just perfectly. I'm actually quite impressed how good that sits in there. Another thing I have is a Bullfang UV5R two-way radio. Now, I programmed all the channels in myself for the area that I'm at, and it's got over 150 channels. But I go on my certain channel if I want, and it just rides in there like that. It doesn't move or anything like that, which goes up to a microphone, and I have a microphone on it too. And what I have at home is I have a base tower that's with an antenna off the roof of our house. So I have a two-way, so out here your cell service is not that great. So out here, well, I think a two-way radio is kind of nice. See, with the two-way radio, a lot of places have it. They're like, you got your logging roads and your oil field roads. So when you're ATVing and you come up across the road and you know what the road channel, usually every one of them logging roads or oil patch roads, they usually have a sign when you enter on the roads, whatever, and it'll tell you the frequency number or what the name of that road is. and which is handy. Whatever, you can hear if there's oncoming trucks coming, if they're loaded, if they're empty. At least you're notified with your ATV to get out of their way. So it's a really good thing to have. And also, I don't have big stereos or nothing on there, but I can also I even got myself even radio. I can listen to music, and if somebody tries to contact me, well, if they want to contact me, I can still use my microphone, still talk on it and everything else. And plus, when I'm done talking or anything I'm doing with it, I just leave it alone and the radio automatically kicks on, so I can actually listen to music and everything while I'm ATVing. Now, another accessory I picked up too was I got this little ATV trailer. And I picked it up at our local Canadian Tire. Oh God, it must have been 8 years ago, like I said in my previous video, which you seen me hauling firewood with it when I was doing the video on the trail building. $500 little trailer, cleaned it up. I also put my logo on it. But it's kind of nice where you got the cricket maker. I kind of like using that cricket maker. But at least I got a nice little trailer. So if I'm pulling it, it's light pulling. It's like it's not even there. And if you want to take extra fuel, or maybe you're going to go camping or whatever out in the wilderness, well, you can put all your supplies and everything in your little trailer or hauling firewood, and away you go. Now, another accessory that I picked up too, obviously I didn't bring it out here with me, I'd like to explain to you too, is I actually bought an ATV dozer blade for doing snow and removal and everything in the wintertime. Now, I picked that up off of Marketplace. Like, again, it had been 8 years ago at the old place. I picked it up for $80, and it's not one that runs on my winch. I don't want it running on my winch for the fact that you're running your winch up and down, up and down, up and down all the time, and you're running your dozer blade. Next thing you know, it's just wear and tear on your winch. Next thing you know, you need the winch for something important, like you're out in the bush and you're stuck. Well, now your winch doesn't work. It's wore out or something's wrong with it. So I rather use my winch designed for what a winch is really for. So I have a manual dozer blade. And what I like about it is that when I'm using it, it's like a hydraulic. I can feel it. You can feel the ground when you get used to it. So if there's an edge or anything that you want to go to a dead stop and hit it, you can actually feel it and bring your blade up a little tiny bit, just enough to skim it and keep on blading with your quad. So I prefer to use the hand one myself. It's a little bit of a workout, but I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. See, as I did it, whatever, just basic, simple little things. Like, I know sometimes you go on Marketplace and you can pick up little trailers and stuff, probably around $300, maybe even $200, fix them up a little bit, and you got yourself a nice little ATV trailer. The things I did with my ATV or whatever, like I said, I want everything at affordable cost. Not everybody's rich. And that's why I even have this older quad. Why do I need a $15,000 quad or $10,000 quad to take it out in the bush and do what I'm doing when I can buy a more affordable quad and it doesn't cost me a whole lot of money and I can do the same thing and I'm not making big payments or beating a $15,000 unit out in the middle of the bush somewhere. Now, what I have for a quad, which I mentioned in my previous video when I was doing quad trail building, this is just a TRX 300 4x4 Honda quad. And these old quads, I tell you, are tanks. They can take a beating. You can watch numerous of YouTube videos that has these quads on there, and you're like, wow, that thing is amazing. They've been rolled, they've been beat up. The thing's how many years old and still runs like a top. So myself, whatever, I want something that's going to be very reliable. I'm not mechanically inclined, but a lot of this on this quad, well, I can do the maintenance and everything myself. I don't have to take it into a garage or anything like that, but I can do the maintenance by myself. And I do like it for that. But for my size, I'm not a big guy. You know, I'm only like 5'7", 5'8". I don't need a big honking quad that's twice my weight that people don't understand. They can have the biggest and the best. Well, I don't understand that because you're on a quad that's 3 times the size that your body weight is. Now, you get it on an angle like that, you can lean all you want. That quad's going to flip over. You're not a big fella, and you're on a big, you're small like me, and you're on this big honking quad. So when you're leaning, it ain't going to help a whole lot. It does a little bit, but not enough. And next thing you know, your quad's flipped over with you on it. if you're gonna get an ATV, get something whatever that suits your body weight too. Don't just think, oh, I need the biggest and the best because Joe Blow down the street, well, he's just got a brand new Can-Am. And oh man, that thing will do 100 and some kilometers an hour down the road. Well, I'm kind of like, well, I don't want a quad to fly down the road. I want a quad that'll go through the trails. So I'd rather have a quad, and plus through the trails, you're lucky if you even do 30 kilometers an hour down a trail. You're not gonna be doing 110. So I don't understand why people think they need the speed or anything like that. I don't jump my quad, I don't race it down the road. I use mine for a tool at home, for plowing snow, help with the lawn in the summertime, go out to the bush and enjoy myself on a nice little quad adventure, or I'm just gonna go and get some firewood, or I'm gonna do a little bit of hunting with it. So you don't really need a big expensive quad. Like this one here, like I said in the previous video, I only paid $1,900 for it. Some farmer owned it, whatever, and he took really good care of this thing. And he also gave me 4 tires, an extra 4 tires and rims for this quad. So I'm gonna do in time, I'll watch, and I'm gonna get a set of chains made or buy a set of chains for the wintertime where I can switch the tires, put a set of chains on it for the wintertime, and away I go with it again. But there again, you don't need a big expensive quad to go out and enjoy. You're out there in the trails to enjoy life or do your yard work. Now, I didn't plan on like a too long of a video. Like, I just wanted to show you a few of the things that I do have. And oh, about the two-way radio, I almost forgot about that too, is I got a little magnet mount antenna for the Bullfang radio, and it just mounts there where my fishing rod is. You've probably seen it in the video there. But so I got a two-way antenna, and plus I also carry is the small portable antenna in case I need to pack that radio and go with to take out in the bush or anything I got to do. But I didn't want to bore you too long or whatever on this video, so I guess it's basically going to be an ending, and I think what I'm going to do is go for a nice little quad ride, and maybe do a little hunting, and maybe I'll see a partridge. So I guess that's another ending of a video. And I want to say is everybody drive safe, and we'll see you guys on the next Measures Adventures. Bye for now.